Well, welcome back to the game, everyone. This is Robert from Black Belt Gaming. Going to do some more Dungeon Command, and we're heading into part 5. Well, as we go through our sequence of play, we've got the refresh phase, and we've actually got some things to do here before we really get rolling again. Before we start untapping, I have to take a look at these cards that were on the Umber Hulk. Let's start with Deep Wound. It says that we have to do 10 damage to this creature at the start of its controller's turn. So we're going to be adding 10 more points of damage to the Umber Hulk. So we'll go ahead and put that on there, and you may be wondering, like myself, is there any way to perhaps remove this card? No, I don't think so. Attach this card, it deals 10 damage at the start of its controller's turn. I don't think there's a way to get rid of it. And I think it just continues to bleed. The next one we have on there is Web. And this one we can get rid of, but it takes a standard action. We've got to tap the creature to remove this card as a standard action. So maybe we'll come back to that one. Drow House Guard is already untapped, so we're ready to go. Well, down here we have Kaltros, the Sellswords group. We need to draw an order card as we begin his turn. Then we're going to head into the activate sequence, the activate phase. I think something easy we can do right away is take another treasure token. So we're going to have to go up here and tap the House Guards card, and that will allow us to increase the morale of this warrior to 8. So that'll help a little bit. So next we've got our Umber Hulk. And just a clarification here, you see the keyword burrow. And one of the viewers pointed out, and rightly so, that burrow not only lets the creature ignore walls, but it can ignore all terrain. So it just has to end up in a legal space after it finishes moving. This is covered in the rulebook under Special Movement, Flying, and Burrow. Well, thanks to a well-played web card, our Umber Hulk is stuck. So we're going to simply keep him in that position and instead tap his card again to rip the webbing off of his frame and free him up for combat and movement the next turn. So that destroys this card, and that kind of finishes the activations for this team for this turn. We're going to enter the deploy phase. We're going to move our leadership up 1 to 12. And let's take a look at our choices here. We've got a couple of creature cards. A Drow Blade Master at level 3, and a Shadow Mastiff at level 4. Currently on the board we have the House Guard, which is level 2, and the Umber Hulk, which is level 5. So that's 7 levels that are taken. So that's going to free us up to bring out either one of these guys. Not quite enough to bring out both of them, but we can choose one or the other. I think I want to try to bring out the Shadow Mastiff. It's a level 4 creature, but it has an interesting ability here. When deploying this creature, you can place it in any unoccupied square adjacent to a wall. So it might be able to deploy secretly behind enemy lines. And Kaltros here really wants to strike back at Alessandra and take out that Drider. Remember, that Drider only has 10 hit points left. So let's try to sneak the Shadow Mastiff over there. Well, here is a look at the Shadow Mastiff miniature. Looks pretty threatening. And now let's find a good spot for him. Been thinking about this for a little while. If I put him up here, the Drider is going to try to zip out of there, I'm sure. If I put him down here and block the escape, that's one way to make sure we take out the Drider, but he's going to be exposed to 1, 2, if not 3 attacks, which he might be able to survive. He's got 80 hit points. And I do have a few cards in my deck for Kaltros that might help with being attacked. So I could put him back over here out of line of sight and then let him run in. He's got a speed of 8. And then that way if the Drider moved down, you know, the Drider is very fast, a speed of 12 thanks to the Commander's boost, but he'd have to run that way. Actually, I think that's a she. It was going to have to run that way. So, what to do? Why don't we make a bold movement and just really scare the Drider, and we'll put this Shadow Mastiff right there, right in front of him. And I believe that's a legal move. Deploy this creature any unoccupied square adjacent to a wall. So I guess we'll finish that way. So cleanup time over here. We get to untap, and we get to untap our Umber Hulk, and he's going to be free to move around next turn. Alright, that'll do it for Kaltros.